Academy. As you are joining us, if you would look at the bottom of your screen, you should see like a dialog box that says chat. And if you click on that, would you please type your name and your scholar's name so that we know who was with us this evening?
Wait, my mom is, I'm gonna call her in here real quick. Hold on.
Okay, thank you, honey.
I love it.
If you are an Ivy scholar, just type your name in the chat box.
Oh, look at Taylor, Charles.
Mom.
Dakota, okay.
Miss Green.
Hello. Oh, Essence. Oh, Miss Weeks. Miss Moss. Miss Trices are here.
Gianna.
Wonderful.
For Ivy.
Dakota.
Good evening, parents. If you're just joining us, my name is
Hi.
I'm the Federal Programs Director for Ivy. Welcome. If you're just joining us, would you find our chat box? It's likely at the bottom of your screen. It looks like a dialog box. If not, you may look at the top of your screen, depending on your device. People that are joining us.
Okay. I don't know how to use the
Ms. Green, I'm going to mute all and then you can unmute.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Miss Dingle, for that. Greetings and good afternoon to all of our families. I would like to take this time to welcome all of our families, all of our new families. Welcome to Ivy and welcome to the Upper Academy. For my returning parents and families, thank you and welcome back. I am so excited about this school year. So if you would just take a moment as you're coming in to make sure you type your name, your scholar's name, and the grade level in the chat box, that will greatly be appreciated. We really want to capture who's in attendance this evening so that we can get started. And hello to all my babies. I have missed you all. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome. We have a few Zoom etiquette tips. As you know, as we navigate through this new normal, we are going to ask that you mute your microphone. That way you will just hear the speaker who is speaking at that time, and we will not hear any distractions from background noise. Also, we want to let you know at a certain time during the presentation, the chat box will be disabled and you will type all of your questions into the Padlet link that we will share with you shortly. In your questions, when you do send your questions, please do not share your scholar's name. We want to make sure that we are following all FERPA rules. So when you type questions, please do not include your scholar's name. So thank you so much for those Zoom etiquette tips. Next, we will have we gotta go, yes. So take your phone out. We'll give you about a minute. Take your phone out, place your phone over this QR code, open up your camera. This QR code will lead you directly to our Parent Academy Padlet page. This is where you will type all of your questions, and my dynamic team of Mrs. Meredith and Ms. White will answer your questions during the presentation. And it will come directly back to you. So if you take a few seconds, open your camera, hover over it, the QR code will come up and it will actually take you to the Padlet website. And if you're using your camera for the Zoom meeting, great question. We're gonna actually put the link in the chat box and you can use it from the chat box. Thank you for that question. Okay. So, as I said earlier, I am Misha Green and I am the Academy Leader for the Unified Upper Academy. The Unified Upper Academy consists of grades 6 through 8, as well as Connections and the Essential Skills team. So at this time, I would like to introduce the Upper Academy. First, we have our sensational 6th grade team. On the sensational 6th grade team, we have Mrs. Dones Coleman. To our left, she will be teaching science. We have Mr. Johnson, who will be teaching mathematics. We have Miss R. Ross, who is our social studies teacher. And we have Miss T. Williams, who is a new addition to our sensational 6th grade team, who will be teaching ELA, which is English Language Arts. That is our sensational 6th grade team. Next, we have our sizzling 7th grade team. That team consists of Dr. J. Bryant, who will be teaching social studies, Miss V. Herbert, our mathematics teacher, Mrs. I. Hammond, who will teach ELA, and Miss B. Smith, who will teach 7th grade science. And that is our 7th grade team. Next, we have our excellent 8th grade team. It also consists of Dr. J. Bryan, who will teach Georgia Studies, Miss C. Silver, who is mathematics, Miss B. Smith for science, and Mr. J. White, who is ELA. And I will talk about why do we have the same teacher for 7th and 8th grade once I go over scheduling. I know you're so excited to hear about scheduling and what the first day looks like. But let's give it up our excellent 8th grade team.
In 7th grade.
And 7th and 6th. Yes, Miss Gray. Next slide. Okay, next we have the collaborative connections team, and they collaborate with every grade. They work with kindergarten through 8th grade. First, we have our new addition, Miss N. Campbell, our art teacher. We have Miss B. Epps, who is our connections math teacher, and she will also be working with REP, which is remedial education. We have Miss E. Gillum Mills, who is our dance teacher. And we have Miss T. Jones, who is also a new addition this year. She will be teaching engineering and computer science to all of our scholars here at Ivy Preparatory Academy. We also have a few more on the next page. We have Senora Jordan returning for Spanish. She will be teaching Spanish. We have Miss A. Martin, who is PE and health. And of course, we have Miss C. Williams, who will be responsible for theater. Let's give it up for our collaborative connections team.
Theater.
regardless of whether they are innocent or guilty.
Next, we have our Equipped Essential Skills team. So our Essential Skills team consists of Mr. A. Balamoney, who will work with mathematics, Ms. J. Clark, who will work with ELA, Ms. J. James, who will work with ELA Math, Science, and Social Studies. And we have on the next page, also in the Essential Skills team, Ms. T. Best, who will provide middle school instructional support, and Ms. B. Ramser, who will provide elementary instructional support. And we have a wonderful Essential Skills team that is also supported by our Director of Scholar Services, Ms. Harris Harvey.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to none other than our marvelous head of schools, Dr. Nichols.
Good evening, everyone. I hope that you can see
Hey,
me.
Dr. Nichols, we miss y'all.
We miss you all too. So glad to see everybody. I have some very, very exciting news for you. This school year, despite all of the things that we went through in the spring regarding our pandemic, this year we are introducing something new that's going to just make everybody very excited, which is STREAM. It is actually STEAM with an R. And so when you add the R, it's added for reading and writing, and you get STREAM. This is actually a multidisciplinary or transdisciplinary approach to learning, which really is about effective teaching and learning. Pretty much, we're going back to the basics. Ultimately, for us, with STEM, STEAM, and STREAM are each about 21st century learning skills. So this year, our scholars will be working more collaboratively. They'll do a lot of higher order questioning activities, problem solving, and critical thinking. This is going to look totally different than what you've seen previously at Ivy. So normally the way that instruction has looked in the school at Ivy, the scholars are told what they need to know, then they'll memorize it, and then they'll get a problem assigned to illustrate how to use it. We're moving to a more problem-based learning approach. So the scholars will first be assigned a problem, then they will identify what they need to know, and the teachers will actually teach that information in order to solve this problem. And at the end, they'll have a culminating activity where they will actually show parents, the community partners, things that they've learned from this particular problem or project. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on the 21st century learning skills. With this, we are bringing in a new curriculum or a new program that's called Project Lead the Way. All of our scholars will have the opportunity to be in some type of Project Lead the Way class, whether it's design and modeling, computer science, which will include app creators, or computer science for thinking, which is coding, or they'll be involved in medical detectives. And so we want to make sure that our scholars are thinking critically, they're collaborating, they actually are involved with some creativity and communication. Every scholar in our lower grades will be involved in some type of coding activity every day. And then our middle school scholars will have the opportunity to take an actual class, whether it's computer applications or app creators or design and modeling. So with that, of course, with our scholars, we have to think about my favorite artist, which is Bay, Love Bay. She has said in several different news outlets that if you have the power to change perception, to inspire and empower, and to show people how to embrace their complications and see the flaws and the true beauty and strength that's inside of all of us. So I want us to remember that as we start working with our scholars this year. We've got to change our thinking, as it pertains to education and as we adapt to our new normal. And we got to make sure that we are preparing our scholars with those 21st century learning skills in order to make sure that they are meeting the demands that are brought before them in our society. So, welcome to a new year and a new opportunity at Ivy Prep. Thank you, Ms. Green.
Thank you, Dr. Nichols. Next, we will have our compassionate counselor, Ms. Kelly White.
Good evening, Ivy family. It's so good to see everybody. I was excited to see all of our scholars' faces. Welcome to our new scholars and our new families. We are excited to have you. Like Ms. Green said, my name is Kelly White, and I am the school counselor for kindergarten through 8th at Ivy Preparatory Academy. And we are so excited for the school year. We've got a lot of fun things planned this year, but we also want to make sure that we're very intentional this year. So one of the things that we are placing, and we're doing it every single day, kindergarten through 8th, is called Sister Circle. And you will see it on your schedule very soon. Ms. Green is going to share that with you. But we are doing a huge push with social and emotional learning. So if you see on your screen, you see a circle and it has 5 different components. These are the 5 key competencies of social and emotional learning. And then you see classrooms, schools, homes, and communities. And we are all working together to ensure that our scholars are really embodying those 5 key competencies. And so we are doing everything we can. We are adopting second step. So all of our scholars will be going through different second step lessons. I am really excited about the middle school second step lessons, as they are all virtual and really will hit a lot of the things that we know our scholars need during this time. For those who are not familiar, social and emotional learning is just the process that they acquire and effectively apply those knowledge, attitudes, and skills where they're understanding how to manage their emotions, set positive goals, show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. So we know that this is going to be very important. And like Dr. Nichols said, this is a new day and we're really excited to implement second step. Not only are we going to be implementing second step, like I said, we're going to be implementing Sister Circle. This will happen every morning for every grade level between 8 and 8:15 a.m. And we will be practicing our restorative practices during this time. We are so excited because restorative practices really focus on repairing harm to relationships, communities, and really just focus on bringing us together. We talk a lot about coming together in a circle and how we can really work through restoring a lot of those conversations that may have gone wrong. We're really excited. Restorative practices is really just the emerging field of studying, restoring, developing those social capitals, social discipline, emotional well-being. So every morning, 8 to 8:15, scholars will participate in our Sister Circle. So like I said, this is going to be a huge push this year, social and emotional learning, and we are here to ensure that we are giving all of our scholars the resources they need to really be successful this year. Thank you, Ms. Green.
Thank you so much, Ms. White. So now is the time for my scholars to get very close to the screen along with parents, because we're going to talk about digital classroom etiquette. So we know that we have the Ivy Way, and we're going to have an Ivy Way also as it relates to classroom etiquette. In the spring, we were caught off guard with online learning. So things that scholars were able to do in the spring, well, they will not be able to do this school year as we start off virtually. So I'm going to go over this information. Parents, this information is also in the Scholar Remote Handbook that will be available to you on the Ivy Preparatory Academy website. So first of all, we want to make sure that our scholars are present and they present themselves in an appropriate manner on camera. Yes, their cameras will be on during their live sessions. We want to make sure it is in accordance to the IPA Scholar Dress Code. All scholars must wear their Ivy Preparatory Academy polo shirts during live sessions. So I reiterate, scholars must wear their Ivy Preparatory polo shirts during their live sessions. We will not have them to do their blazers for middle school for professional attire, but we are requesting the Ivy polo shirts. And if you have questions about the vendors, you can put that in Padlet and they will be able to answer that question for you. When scholars log on to their Zoom and their live sessions, scholars will use their first and last names only. They will not put their nickname as their screen name because we need that information for attendance purposes. So scholars, you will not be changing your names like you did in the spring to fit whatever you would like. It will be your first and last name only. Also, parents, we're asking that you make the scholars' learning area conducive to learning. If they have an opportunity to have a table, a chair, a personal desk, so that they are able to be attentive during their live sessions, that is greatly appreciated. Scholars should not attend in the bed. Again, scholars should not attend live sessions in their bed unless you have a medical reason or disability that necessitates this. And we will have that documentation on file here at the school. Also, hair bonnets, rollers, and scarves. Scarves only if for religious purposes will be allowed, but hair bonnets and rollers and scarves will not be permitted during live unless they have religious purposes for the scarves. Please be sure to eliminate outside distractions such as television and radio. We know we're at home and it's a lot of people learning at the same time. We do not want the scholars distracted because they may miss some valuable information. Remember, your scholars will learn new content standards for their new grade level. So we want to make sure that they are attentive and they don't have any distractions, that they are minimized as much as possible. If you have a cell phone, we just want to make sure the scholars that is silenced during the class sessions, that it's not ringing if possible, and they're not answering the phone during their live sessions. Also, we want the scholars to make sure they're refraining from using inappropriate or offensive language in the chat, on the whiteboard, or on the microphone. These lessons will be recorded, so scholars, please govern yourselves appropriately. We're going to talk about this more in depth when we have our grade level meetings next week about the digital expectations when you are in your Google and Zoom classes. Please do not share personal information and or contact information unless specifically granted permission to do so from your teacher and or school administrator. So no gaming identifiers, invitations to outside classes, emails, phone numbers, address. We just want to make sure that we are keeping everything secure and that we are not giving out personal information about scholars or sharing scholar information. Also, scholars, please do not impersonate a teacher and or their classroom's rights as a classroom moderator or host. Now, I know last semester in the spring, a lot of my scholars were on English language arts or math, and the teacher made them the co-host and they was able to present. That is because the teacher gave you the rights. You will not be allowed to make your own accounts and impersonate a teacher. So please make sure that you are paying attention to that. Also, we want to make sure that you are not posting pictures, images, videos. So you're not videoing the Zoom class or links to inappropriate or illegal content in the chat box. We want to make sure that everything is about school, everything is about instruction, and nothing illegal will be tolerated on the Zoom calls or live sessions. If an illegal posting is made or shared that includes forward, copied, and paste, or email, then the incident will be reported to the appropriate authorities. That includes the academy leaders, the head of schools, and possibly up to and escalated to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. So we just want to keep this. We know we are in a digital age, and we want to make sure our scholars remain safe and appropriate. Everything is about school. I cannot stress enough for you that we are having school. It's just we're doing school differently, but we really want to make sure that everyone is safe and that everyone is ready to show their pride as an Ivy Scholar. Miss Aponte. Or is that me?
No, it's me. Well, it's both of us. Hi, parents. So we just wanted to make sure that you know about our digital device sign-out days. We are distributing your grade level tomorrow from 9 to 1 in the front of the school. We are definitely making sure that our scholars parents who indicated that they needed a device will be serviced first. And we are making sure that if you are completely enrolled, meaning that you have no documents that are missing from your enrollment folders, enrollment will be there to collect those as well during that time. But we are servicing all parents who indicated that they did need a device first.
Okay, so parents, please make sure when you show up tomorrow that devices will be only given to parents who completed the form and submitted by Monday of this week. If you did not submit your form by Monday, you will be placed on a waiting list, and we will get back to you about when your pickup day will occur. Also, we will not be collecting any forms for device agreements on tomorrow. So if the form has not been submitted, you will have to wait, and we will give you another pickup day. Also, if you are not picking up the device, we do have digital virtual learning kits for every scholar. So we have enough virtual learning kits for every scholar that you can pick up tomorrow if you're not picking up a device. And that is to get them started on their new virtual instruction on Monday.
Yes.
Now,
thank you, Ms. Green. Those parents who did indicate, I'm sorry, thank you, Ms. Green. And make sure parents, if you did indicate that you need a device, be sure to fill out the agreement forms prior to your arrival tomorrow.
all right, thank you, Ms. Aponte. Ms. Bolton.
Hello, everyone. New year, new applications for your meals. You have different ways that you can fill out your nutrition applications. You can fill out your applications online through Infinite Campus. There are steps on the right-hand side of the computer in front of you to fill out the applications online. Step 1, of course, you'll need to register your PIN and number and electronic signature. The other option for your applications, we have sent out email packets. In that email packets, there are documents you are able to scan and sign your application and email that back to me. Or you can take a picture of it, the front and back, and make sure that it's clear and email that back to me. And online, the documents under, when you go online to fill out the application, the document is under the Scholar Life and Nutrition online, which is the ivyprepacademy.org. You can also pick up and fill out your paper application when you come to pick up your devices. And in the nutrition packets that has been emailed, it will have how to fill out your applications, the question and answers. And it's also available online. That information, how to fill it out, is online under the nutrition and under Scholar Life. And you will be able to pick up starting August the 17th between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. all your meals for 5 days, breakfast and lunch. You will need to bring your waivers, which is also emailed to you in your email packets. The waivers will need to be signed when you pick these up. You will also need to know your scholar ID when you're picking up the meals. The waivers are acknowledgments forms saying that you are receiving the meals for an eligible scholar. And the waiver also allows you to pick up the food without the scholar being present. Also on August the 17th, you can pre-order meals virtually through the school store for the following week of August the 24th through the 28th. Every Monday at 12 a.m. through Wednesday at 12 p.m., you can pre-order your breakfast and lunch in advance for pickup that following Monday. Everyone will need to wear a mask when you're picking up your meal, and pickup will be in the rear of the school and near the gym. And you'll be entering near the YMCA side road, and you'll be exiting near the Grady Clinic on the side road. If you have any questions, please email me at sbolton@ivyprepacademy.org. And communication and monthly newsletters will be updated online at ivyprepacademy.org under the Scholar's Life Nutrition. And in your email packets, it will be the letter from your director, from the director, advising the maximum balance allowed per scholar account, the pickup information, how to fill out your application, and the waiver, and your breakfast menu from August all the way to September. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bolton. We appreciate that. So
I have a quick question, Ms. Green.
Oh, give me just a second, Ms.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Can you put it in the chat box for us, please? Put the question in the chat box for us, please.
Okay.
Thank you. So now what you've all been waiting for, what does it look like to go to school virtually? So let's talk about this. So we're going to have what we call asynchronous and synchronous sessions. So scholars will go to school on Monday through Friday, but they will have days where they're asynchronous. That is when they will have a learning opportunity where the teacher and the scholar are going to interact in a different place and in a different time. So that occurs on Wednesdays. So on Wednesdays, scholars will not be live on their sessions, but they will have assignments to complete from their Google Classroom. So teachers will give scholars assignments, and they will have to submit and complete those assignments on Wednesday. Then we will have synchronous instruction, and that's defined as scholars and teachers collaborating and learning in real time, what we would like to call live sessions. So live sessions will happen on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So Wednesday, they will be working independently and completing assignments. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, they will be in school learning with their teachers. So now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Everyone is on pins and needles about this. What is my child's schedule? So we're going to start off with a 6th grade sample schedule. So as you can see on your far left, it has synchronous, and it has the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And this is what a sample 6th grade schedule will look like. And you will get a copy of this presentation, as well as scholars will get a copy of their schedule on day 1. So from 8 o'clock to 8:15, as Ms. White stated earlier, we will have Sister Circle. So we want to ensure that scholars are up and ready, have eaten their breakfast, have on their polo, and they are ready to sit and start learning at 8 a.m. sharp. We will take attendance for each period in middle school. So after that, they will go to their first class, which is also their homeroom class, and that's from 8:20 to 9:05. That's their first block, and that will consist of either math, language arts, science, or social studies. Then they will have a transition and screen break. So they will get a chance to relax their eyes, stretch, prepare for their next block of instruction. Their next block of instruction is from 9:40 to 10:40, and that is their connection. So scholars will either have theater, art, PE, or mathematics doing connections. That will be their assigned connections. Also, they will get a break between connections. They will have another break to stretch and get ready for their next block. Their second block of instruction starts at 11 a.m. It's from 11 to 11:50, and they will have a content class at that time. Then they get a long stretch break, which we're going to call lunch. So they're going to have lunch. They're going to get, able to relax, get their mind right so they can finish out the day very, very strong. So they're going to have lunch from 11:55 to 12:50. That includes their breaks and their transition. Then they report back at 12:55 to 1:45 for their content, which is block 3. And then they get their last break, which is 10 minutes from 1:45 to 1:55. And at 2 o'clock, they have their last class, which is considered their last content class of the day. Now let's look under asynchronous. Asynchronous is on Wednesday, and that's when they will log into the Google Classroom and complete the assignment that the teacher left for them to complete on Wednesday. Some things we want our scholars to remember. Videos should be on during synchronous lessons, so cameras must be on. That's how we're taking attendance, scholars. We have to have those cameras on. Scholars should have on their Ivy polo uniform shirt. Sister Circle will take place during your homeroom, so you will not change classes after Sister Circle. You will remain in your homeroom for your first period class. Please ensure scholars are checking their Ivy Prep emails regularly. Your teachers will communicate with you through your Ivy email address, and we're going to talk about that a little later on, but those are some reminders for my 6th graders. So that's a sample 6th grade schedule. Next, we have the sample schedule for 7 and 8. So 7 and 8 has the same breakdown, but it's a little different, and I want to explain that to you. So 7 and 8th grade starts at 8 o'clock as well with Sister Circle. But then they have a stretch break from 8:15 to 8:25. So they're going to transition and they're going to have a stretch break. And then they're going to go to their first block, which for them is connections. So all 7 and 8th grade scholars will have connections after Sister Circle. Then after connections, they will have another stretch break. And then they will start their first content class of language arts, math, science, or social studies. So block 2 will be from 10 to 10:05. I'm sorry, 10:05 to 11:05, and that will be 1 hour. Then they will have another break from 11:10 to 11:20 for transition. Then they will have block 3, which is from 11:25 to 12:25. And then they will have another stretch break and lunch from 12:30 to 1:25. And then their last class will be from 1:30 to 2:50, where they'll have class and some small group instruction. Now let me talk about 7th and 8th grade schedule. And scholars are going to get their detailed schedules on Monday. For science and social studies, they will alternate. So they will, if you're in the, I will give an example. If you're in the 7th grade, you go to social studies on Monday and Tuesday, and you go to science on Thursday and Friday at that time. And if you're in 8th grade, you go to science on Monday and Tuesday, and you will go to, if you're in 7th grade, you'll go to science on Thursday and Friday. So we are rotating because we remember the teachers are shared in 7th and 8th grade. And it will make more sense when we share with the individual scholars, and it's broken down by individual scholars so that they can know which day they have which class. So we're doing what we call an A day, B day rotation, where Monday and Tuesday are A days and Thursday and Fridays are B days. And the same reminders are true for my 7th and 8th grade scholars as for my 6th grade scholars, to make sure their cameras are on, they have on their polos, that they know they report to homeroom for Sister Circle, and that they are checking their Ivy Preparatory Academy emails regularly. So now that I've said that, the question is this, and I hear it already, and I'm not even on Padlet. So where do they go on the first day? How do they know their homeroom? Well, homerooms are already in Infinite Campus. The schedule will be updated by Friday with all of their classes, but homerooms are already in Infinite Campus for all scholars who are enrolled. Also, scholars will receive an email in their Ivy email from their teacher with the Zoom link for their Monday day one meeting. So scholars will receive an email Friday telling them with the link for day one, and they will join that, and they will be in their grade level session for Monday. So that information is being emailed on Friday to each scholar individually, and they will have the log on for day one, and they will know where to report.
A little bit of help from the blender.
I'm finna be out of eyes.
Thomas shark. I'm like, that's freaking delicious. Now that we had 5.
All right, Mr. Bolton.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Derek Bolton. I'm the new Director of Operations here at Ivy Prep. So excited to join the Ivy Prep family this year. Obviously, we are on some unprecedented times and causing us to make a lot of adjustments. Obviously, this virtual learning is certainly one of them. And in an attempt to help facilitate the virtual learning, we have bolstered our technology inventory. For those that we kind of already talked about it, reserve the device. This is an example of the device that we have. It's a new Lenovo notebook. Wanted to kind of show you how simple it is to operate. You open it, you will find the kind of welcome screen. And I'm not sure how well you can see that, but all of the devices are already apportioned with an Ivy Scholar profile. So this is the profile that the scholars will log into. You will find you will find an information card that tells you a little bit of tips and tricks on using the device. It also will have the password so that the student can get into the device for the first time. As far as the Ivy email addresses, all of our scholars have email addresses. Even new enrollees are constantly being added to the email list. Email addresses for all of our scholars are in the same format. The format is first name, last name at ivyprepacademy.org. So there won't be any initials, there won't be any nicknames. It will simply be first name, last name at Ivy Prep. So it'll be easy to remember. And also, if there is a student who hasn't been active with their email address, all of the email passwords have been reset, and you will also find that information on the card that you will get with the device. If a scholar had been active on their email address, we left the password the same since they are actively using it, so they won't have to change anything there. We have some new software that will allow us to facilitate distance learning a little more strategically. It will allow us to filter some of the content, which is very difficult to do outside of the building, but it will allow us to filter some of the content. It will allow the teachers and students to interact in a more collaborative way, to share more, similar to what we're experiencing now with the sharing of screens, people on different tiles, being able to mute and unmute and have different people share in the sessions. So we're very excited to see the fruits of how the planning and coordination for our distance learning shows itself. And we are certainly looking forward to a much more substantive semester for this first semester.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bolton. And again, this is a reminder why the Ivy email addresses are so important, because that's the only way you're going to be able to access your Google Classroom, and your live sessions is using your Ivy email address. Otherwise, you will be marked absent if you are not using your Ivy email address. So thank you, Mr. Bolton, so much for reviewing that. If you have any questions about the passwords and it being reset, please type that in Padlet and they will take care of you. Next, we have Mr. Watson.
Good evening, scholars and parents. Thank you, Ms. Green, for letting me have this time. I'm going to talk to you about AllStars. AllStars has been with Ivy Prep for over a year, and we have been having a great program. It's through Georgia State, and we see that Ivy has been focusing on the STEM aspect of the school right this year, and we're trying to make sure that this pandemic does not allow us to miss out on the opportunity that AllStars have. We have built up a great program. If anybody that know anyone that was in the summertime for the program, we had several great success stories. Even during our school year, we had a great time. But if anybody want to join it, we have tutoring going on. It's going to be from 4 p.m. to 5:30, Monday through Friday. If you look on the screen, we are offering a lot this year. We're going to be offering fun and enriched programs. We got student incentives. We have a school store. So when you can earn points by participating in our program. Our program has been really great. A lot of kids this past summer has gotten TVs and tablets. And I mean, it was great items in the store that the kids could earn. We had SEL Power Hour. I see that Ms. White talked about having the SEL, and we're actually having an SEL Power Hour, which we do with the family on every Friday. We also have raffles and prizes, and we also started this thing called family engagement that allows the parents to interact, allow them to get in contact, do things with the student. And also we're giving away, we're doing programs for parents alone. So a lot of parents that might need financial literacy, we're gonna be doing even sessions like paint parties for the parents and stuff of that nature. So I think this is gonna be a great year that you wanna get involved. If you wanna get involved, you see my email is located on there. It's twatson41@gsu.edu, or you can contact me at that number at 917-753-6485. And I can get you all the information so you could be ready for the new year. A lot of people have signed up. I think this would be great. I think you could take advantage of the time so that they can get tutorial, because a lot of people are gonna be home. So with them being home, they're gonna have certified tutors that can help them with their homework and push them along, because this is important during this pandemic that we get everybody on the same page so we can excel onto the next level. I thank you for your time, and any questions, like I said, look at the flyer and reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. So parents, please take a picture of that if you need to, or write down Mr. Watson's email address, because I'm sure that'll be a great support for your scholars, with support around work and tutorial after school. So I don't know about you, but I am so excited for Monday. I am so excited to see all of your faces bright and early at 8 a.m. I am so excited that you all are going to check your email. And my middle school scholars already know how to check their Infinite Campus and email me, because they've been emailing me all summer. So I appreciate that. I am so excited about seeing you all with your polos on and your screens on. I am just so excited, and I don't know what to do. So I want to end this by thanking you, parents and scholars, for being here this evening and being attentive. And also I have to give a shout out to my amazing team that's in the background, Mrs. Meredith, Ms. White. Thank you for answering those questions for us during the session. Also, Ms. Dingle, our Director of Federal Programs, Mr. Punte, Ms. Bolton, Mr. Bolton, as well as Dr. Nichols, for leading us and making this virtual start of schools an excellent, smooth transition. Scholars and parents, schedules will be in Infinite Campus. They will be in there by Friday, but right now you can log on and find out your scholars' homeroom. And I am so excited about what we're gonna do this year in the Upper Academy. Thank you, and have a great evening.
Hey, excuse me.
Yes.
All right, so if you happen to showed up late or whatever, is it so I can look and see stuff I missed?
Absolutely. We're going to send out a recording of this. Yes. And if you would type in the chat your name and your scholar's name, we'll make sure we get that recording out to you. Thank you for asking that question.
Excuse me, I have a question.
I have a question. Where is the form, the device form?
I'm going to let Ms. Aponte answer that. I'm not sure, I'm not sure.
No problem, Ms. Green. The device forms were emailed out to you all this week, so it should be in your email. If you got the reminder for Parent
No,
Academy.
you're not going to type that on that screen. No, you're not going to type that on this screen. Now, y'all know Ms. Green don't play those games. Sorry about that, Ms. Aponte, but you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. That's what you're not going to do. Go ahead, Ms. Aponte.
If you received the email reminding you about Parent Academy today, you can go to that direct email and it will say, it's a link in there that's in that email, and you can click on that and it will bring up the device forms for you. It's an electronic form.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question. How do I get
Can
the
I say
information
this
for
real quick?
Infinity Campus?
Can I say this real quick before that one? Please make sure that you, on the previous email, you did tell us you needed a device. If you did not tell us you needed a device, we did not account for your device. So we will have to put you on the waiting list for a device. I want to make sure that that is clear. If you did not tell us you needed one on a previous email, you will have to be placed on the waiting list for devices. Okay.
All right, what do I type it in?
in?
What do I type in? The info.
I'm what she's talking about.
You're talking about the, sir, you're talking about your name and your scholar's name?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see the chat feature on your phone on the Zoom?
Chat feature. Let me go into more. Yeah, I had to go into more. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go.
And you just type it in there and we'll make sure we email it out to you.
Okay, Miss. The last email that I received was on the 7th. I haven't received any email today. That was the last email that I got, was on the 7th.
Is that about devices, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. And I don't see where the form is at to fill out for the device to bring tomorrow. I don't see where that form is.
Ms. Aponte, can you help with that one?
So that's fine, ma'am. If you can email pse@ivyprepacademy.org, and we will make sure that you'll receive all of the forms. Okay.
You said, I'm sorry. You said P as in Peter, S as in Sam, E as in egg.
P as in Peter, S as in Franklin, E as in elephant at ivyprepacademy.org, and I will make sure you have all of the information that you need.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
How do I gain access to the Infinity Campus? My daughter is a new scholar, so I've never used the Infinity Campus before.
You will email enroll@ivyprepacademy.org, and they will be able to help you with all of your Infinite Campus questions.
And Ms. White just put it in the chat box. Enroll, she just put the email address in the chat box. So my new parents, please email them and they will send you something out about how to set up Infinite Campus.
Ms. Green, I'm sorry, but one thing I was confused about.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't have to pick up a device
Sunita had brought that for
you're supposed to pick up a digital package.
Yeah, brought that for a job.
Yes, ma'am. So even if you're not picking up a laptop, you can come up to get Mackenzie's digital learning kit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you again, parents. And we look forward to seeing you virtually and some of you all tomorrow. Good night.